Hello beautiful people, my name is Chinaza Victory and you're welcome back to Nasi Styles YouTube channel. In this video, you're going to learn how to easily cut and sew a necktie. Let's move straight into the video. I'm going to be making use of this leftover fabric. It is less than a yard. A yard comes in 36 inches for African print, but here I have less than 36 inches. It's about 23 inches, so it is more than half yard and less than a yard. I'll also be using this lining fabric. I also have my measuring tape, my ruler, my paper scissors, and of course my fabric scissors, my marker pens, and the pattern paper. The first thing I will do is to lay my pattern paper flat on my table this way. Then I'm going to create a border line of 0.5 inch. Starting from the top of the pattern paper, I'll come down by half of an inch. Then I'll use my straight ruler to rule a line across the marks. A necktie usually has two main parts, the wide part and the slim part, and I'm going to be drafting the wide part first. So starting from the border line, I am going to come down by 30 inches and rule a line across it. From this side of the pattern paper, I am going to come in by 6.5 inches. Now I am trying to create a rectangle of 6.5 inches by 30 inches. Now I'll keep marking this 6.5 inches. I'll also mark it at that 30 inches line that I ruled. Then I'll connect all the marks to give me a rectangle of 6.5 inches by 30 inches. I hope you understand. Now for clarity's sake, I am going to label this rectangle, and this is the upper side. I'll write up there, and this is the down part. I'll just write down at this part. I'll come over to the upper side of the rectangle, and from one end I'll come in by 1.25 inches. I'll come over to the other upper side. I'll go in again by 1.25 inches on this other end. Now these two marks, I'll be connecting it to the down part. Okay, see how I'm going to connect it. I'll rule a straight line to go and meet that sharp edge, and then I'll come over to this other part. I'll rule a straight line to meet the other sharp end. Okay, so let me quickly do that. These two lines I just ruled now are now the main lines we'll be working with. Okay, on one of these new lines, which is this one I am touching right now, okay, I'll go up by 2 inches this way. Then I'll be connecting that 2 inches mark to the other new line in a slanty shape this way. I'll connect it to the point of the other new line this way. I'll come over to the down part, and I am going to get the midpoint of that part. Okay, I will use my tape rule to divide that line into two. Remember, it is 6.5. When you divide into 2, it will give you 3.25. So I am going to mark this 3.25 this way. I will represent the marks using dotted lines this way. Then I am going to rule a line at that center. On this center line that I just ruled now, I am going to come down by 4 inches. Then I'll connect it to the two parts of the rectangle this way. So basically we are done drafting the white side of the tie. We'll move over to draft the slim part of the tie. So the first thing I am going to do is to check the measurement I have from one point of this new line to the other point of the line. Okay, so I'll get my tape and I'm going to measure that part, which is the upper part, and there I have 4 inches. This means that the wideness of the second piece is going to be 4 inches. Okay, the wideness of the slim part of the tie is going to be 4 inches automatically. So I'll keep marking the 4 inches all the way to the hem, but the length is going to be 28 inches as against 30 inches for the wide part. For this slim part, the length is going to be 28 inches. So I am trying to form a rectangle of 4 inches by 28 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark it and then connect all the marks to form my rectangle. I am going to be going through the same process. I'll come over to the upper side of the slim part. Okay, I'll go up by 2 inches. Now ensure that this part is directly facing the other part of the big part that we went up by 2 inches. I hope you understand. Okay, you see the part where I marked 2 inches on the big part. Make sure that it is close to this other part of the slim side. Then I'm going to be slanting it to meet the other end of the rectangle, the same way we did for the big part of the tie. Hope you get it. If you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. Please note that the upper side of the big part and the upper side of the slim part must be equal. Okay, that's how to know that you've gotten the drafting for that part. Let's move to the down part. On this down part, I am going to get the midpoint of that place. Remember, this rectangle is 4 inches by 28 inches and that part is 4 inches. I'll just divide it into 2 and it will give me 2 inches. And I'll continue to mark the 2 inches. Then I will use my ruler to rule a line at the center of that line. Then at that center line, I'm going to come down by 2 inches. I'll place a mark at the 2 inches. Then I'll connect that 2 inches to one side of the rectangle. Come over and connect the 2 inches again to other parts of the rectangle, just like we did for the big part, to form a little triangle. So we are done drafting the tie. We've successfully drafted the white part and the slim part. Now we'll move over to cutting on the fabric. So because neckties are usually cut on bias, that is diagonal grain of the fabric, I am going to be indicating that on the pattern paper. That's why I am drawing this slanty line on it to indicate that the pattern paper should be placed on bias before cutting on the fabric. The next thing is to pick up my paper scissors and cut out the pattern carefully. I need you to watch carefully to see the way I am cutting out the white part, because you're going to follow the same way to cut out the slim part on your own. I'll do that off camera. So I have my fabric here already laying flat on my table. It is not folded at all. I just laid it flat and the lining is right under the fabric. And I would love you to pay close attention and take note of some things. The part of the fabric I am marking now is the wrong part. That means the right side is the one that is facing up. And for the lining, this part I'm touching is the right side and this is the wrong part of the fabric. So make sure you indicate the wrong side of your fabric before you start cutting. It is very, very important. The next thing is to come in now with my already drafted pattern, and I'll be placing the big pattern first. Now, instead of facing it straight this way, on a normal day, you just place your pattern this way and go ahead and cut. But no, I am not facing it this way. See, I am going to slant it. That is what I meant by cutting on bias, the diagonal grain of the fabric. This is what it means, okay? You're going to slant it this way on the fabric. Okay, then I want you to take note of something as well. The part of the pattern paper where I have my marker is facing up. That is the part that I marked on. It is facing up. Please take note of that. I'll come in with the second piece. Okay, I am going to be placing it in a slanty form as well, but note that the part where I have the marker on, that second slim piece will face down. This is very important, and make sure you follow all the rules accordingly. Okay, I've used my pins to secure the pattern paper on the fabric. I want you to take note of the direction of the two pattern papers. You see, the sharp edges are facing the same way, while the slanty edges are facing the same way. The difference is that one is facing up and the other one is facing down. I explained that earlier. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and cut it out, and note that we are cutting both the main fabric and the lining together. That was why I placed the lining right under the main fabric. After cutting it out, this is what you should have. Okay, I'm going to keep the pattern papers aside. We do not need it again at this moment. So here you're going to have one fabric for each and lining for each of the piece as well. Okay, one main fabric, one lining, and one main fabric, one lining. And please make sure to indicate the wrong side of your fabric to avoid any form of confusion, and do the same thing on the lining pieces as well. I'm going to first of all pick up the main fabric, the two main fabrics, right? And we're going to be joining the slanty part of the fabric. So you place it this way, right side facing each other. Now this is the way it should be. If your own is not looking this way, that means you've made a mistake in the placement of the pattern. So you're going to place it this way, in such a way that the pointy edge at the 2 points will come out a little bit even on the other part. Then you take it to your sewing machine. You're going to sew 0.5 inch, that's half of an inch, to join. I'll also repeat the same thing for the lining. I'll get the two lining pieces, I'll place it right side facing each other. You see, even my lining is corresponding. That means I didn't make any mistake. So I'll go and join that part using 0.5 inch. Then we'll come back for the next step. After joining that part, this is what it should look like. As you can see, now the right side of the fabric should look this way. Okay, even for the lining. So the next part we're going to be joining is the down part that has a triangular shape. Okay, we'll pick up the two big parts, the big part of the lining and the big part of the main fabric, and you're going to place it right side facing each other. You can make use of your pins to hold it down. Okay, now the only place we are going to be sewing on is the triangular shape. From one part of the triangle, you sew this way and go up, then you sew again and cross it. Finish. You sew using 0.5, that's half of an inch. That's the only thing you're going to sew. Then you come back, and I'm going to repeat the same process for the smaller triangles. Okay, I'll place the lining and the fabric right side facing each other like we did for the big triangle. I'm going to be sewing the triangular part as well. After sewing on the triangular part, the next thing is to reduce the seam allowance around there. Okay, I'm just going to reduce the seam allowance at the tip so that it will not be too bulky by the time I turn it over to the right side. So the next thing I'm going to do is to proceed to turn it over to the right side and give it a very nice press. I'll repeat the same thing for the other smaller part of the triangle. After turning it over to the right side and giving it a nice press, this is what you should have at the two parts of the triangle. Okay, so the next step is a very simple one. You simply fold the tie this way, right side facing each other. See the way I'm folding it. Make sure that it is very equal at this pointy edge. Then you use your hand and your pins to arrange it very well. Okay, pin it down. You fold it all the way till you get to the smaller triangle, right side facing each other that way. Okay, make use of your pins to secure it very well so that it will not be moving. After using my pins to secure it, this is what it looks like. Okay, I make sure that all the edges and all the corners are equal, and I used my pins to hold it down. The next thing is to take it to my sewing machine and sew using 0.5 inch, starting from the beginning of the open part to the end this way. Okay, you just sew 0.5 inch from the beginning to the end till you get to the other part of the smaller triangle. And I'm gonna do that and then show you the next thing to do. After sewing it, this is what it should look like, and the next thing I am going to do now is to pick up my scissors and reduce the seam allowance. Okay, so that by the time I turn it finally, it will relax very well. I'm trying to reduce the bulkiness around there. Okay, so the next thing is to carefully turn it over to the right side, and I'm going to start doing that from the bigger part of the tie. Okay, I'll basically try to pull it out from this part using anything my hands can reach. Okay, you can make use of a stick, a pencil, a pen, or anything at all, or even your fingers. Just do it carefully and pull it out all the way. You pull out everything from this angle. So after turning it to the right side and giving it a very nice press, this is what it should look like, and this is the final look of the tie. See how beautiful and neat it looks, and I want yours to even look more beautiful. So my people, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're yet to do that, and please turn on the notification bell to get notified each time I post a new video. And don't forget to drop a nice comment at the comment section, and also remember to share this video with your friends and your loved ones. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.